Hello everyone, welcome back to another Weather on the Go weather forecast where you get all your weather coverage. Good Thursday morning everyone. In this video I will be talking about a quiet weather pattern through Saturday followed by a significant storm system into next week with above normal temperatures, severe weather, and flooding rainfall as well, especially across the upper Midwest, and your full tropical weather update with Tropical Storm Fiona in the Atlantic and possibly a landfalling system for the United States that I will talk about in this video. Good morning, everyone. If you guys have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you guys want important weather updates and you like weather breakdowns, long-range weather forecasts, definitely hit the subscribe button down below to get all of my important weather updates, and also hit that notification bell to, like I said, to get all of my important weather updates here throughout this channel in the coming days. So looking here first at the satellite imagery, we do have a little bit going on. We got a couple of showers and storms moving across portions of the Dakotas, getting back here into Nebraska and western Minnesota there this morning. This is going to continue to propagate its way to the north and east across portions of the northern plains and upper Midwest as we head through the next several hours here into today. But looking largely across the area into the United States as we head into later on this afternoon, we got mainly a zonal flow. We got a little bit of some ridging across the eastern United States, but really kind of west to east Pacific air across much of the Rockies and the West Coast as we head into this afternoon. That will more or less kind of happen as we head into your Friday as well, with more actually, zonal flow across much of the United States, extending all the way eastward towards the Mississippi River as we head into your Friday, September 16th. Looking at your temperatures this afternoon, kind of widespread 80s out there all the way up to the north here from portions of Minnesota, western Wisconsin, Iowa, northern Illinois, all the way southward to the Gulf Coast. We might even have some lower 90s across portions of Kansas, Oklahoma, and North Texas. As we head into your Friday, though, we got some cooler air dropping down here into portions of North Dakota and northern Minnesota, with temperatures rising into the middle 60s across these areas on your Friday afternoon. More 90s showing up across portions of the southern and central plains and the mid-south here over toward Memphis, 90 degrees, Nashville, 90 degrees, and then all the way back to Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and then getting back into Wichita Falls there. Will be largely in the low to mid 90s for your afternoon high temperatures for your Friday, September 16th. But looking here as we head into your weekend, this is on your Saturday. We do have a ridge that is going to start to build and amplify across the eastern United States, and then a trough, a very deep trough, is actually going to develop across portions of the Pacific Northwest and the west coast of the United States into your Saturday. That will deepen a little bit further as a positively tilted trough across portions of the western United States, with the ridge amplifying across the plains and the eastern United States, bringing well above normal temperatures into early next week across these areas. Looking at the jet stream pattern as we head into early next week on your Monday, September 19th, like I said, we got that positively tilted trough here off the west coast, but we have the ridging. We have high pressure here at the surface across much of the southern United States here and the eastern United States, bringing much above normal temperatures across these areas for your Monday. That will continue into Tuesday. However, Tuesday, it looks like we have a stronger jet rounding this ridge. We have a strong high pressure system here down across the Four Corners, West Texas on your Tuesday, and with this trough off the west coast, it's going to send a very strong jet stream just to the north of this ridge, and this is where we could see some clusters of showers and storms here kind of rounding this ridge across portions of the northern plains, the upper Midwest, and perhaps the western Great Lakes as early next week. A very strong, powerful jet stream will start to take over across the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes as we head into the middle of next week, which will actually send a strong cold front across portions of these areas with a pretty strong, cool down as we head into late next week and even into next weekend here as well. But before then, we do have above normal, if not well above normal temperatures favored during that September 20th, all the way through the start there of fall equinox on September 21st, and then getting in through September 24th there, really just kind of across the front range of the Rockies on eastward here, kind of centered on the central southern plains over toward the Tennessee Valley and the mid-Atlantic. Near normal temperatures here across portions of the portions of the international Intermountain West, portions of the northwestern plains there into Montana, Nevada, getting back into Idaho, near normal temperatures there. We do have a wetter pattern across the western United States with that positively tilted trough. We'll see some rainfall, especially across portions of Salt Lake City, getting back up there into portions there of Cheyenne, Wyoming, southern Montana, getting up toward Boise, Idaho, and then maybe as far west here as Nevada. Drier than normal conditions will be favored during that September 20th through the 24th timeframe from Texas all the way across to the Tennessee, Ohio Valley, and the East Coast as well, really kind of centered on North Texas as we head during this period. But as we get into this weekend, we'll have these kind of, the moisture will be opened up across the western Gulf of Mexico. This will be advecting northward across the center of the country, and this will set up repeated rounds of, complexes of showers and storms starting to kind of revolve around this ridge of high pressure centered across the southern and southwestern plains as we head through this weekend and early next week. First batch of that here starts on your Saturday with some green shaded colors up here in the portions of the northern plains, upper Midwest. That is your moisture. Where you see the brown shaded colors, that is drier than normal conditions. And you can see all that moisture will be up here across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa as we head into your Saturday. Really staying that way as we head into early next week with a couple of storms, kind of revolving around that ridge of high pressure. We do also have some monsoonal flow and kind of some tropical flow kind of being, tossed up and over this ridge as well from the desert southwest and kind of moving up towards the northern plains as we get into your Monday. Ultimately, as we get into the middle of next week, though, we do have a pretty potent cold front dropping south from the southern Canadian prairies into the northern plains and upper Midwest. And this is actually not only going to dry us out, but it's going to bring some cooler temperatures as we get towards next weekend across much of the United States, especially the eastern United States, as we get towards the end here of September. Looking at these thunderstorm clusters, it does look like here one of these storm clusters could be across the upper Midwest and western Great Lakes as early as, Sunday into Monday time frame here. Maybe some heavy rainfall, especially centered on eastern Iowa, southwest Wisconsin, into northwestern Illinois. We could have some loud claps of thunder, a lot of heavy rainfall out there, and maybe, a marginal to slight risk of severe weather potentially. I'm eyeing up for potentially on Sunday. We'll continue to watch that. Some rainfall back here with that trough kind of sitting across the west coast into portions of North Texas or northern California rather into central California. That's where we could be seeing some heavier rainfall there. So we'll continue to watch that. But as we get into early next week, like I said, with that ridge in place, we'll have a lot of heat out there. We got 100s across much of Kansas, upper 90s down into Oklahoma and even into North Texas on your Monday. As we get into Tuesday, much of the same, upper 90s to lower 100s from Kansas all the way south to north central Texas there. And then as we head into Wednesday, you can definitely see where that cold front does move southward towards the upper Midwest as we get into Wednesday here, September 21st. And actually, this is the start of fall equinox. So that is kind of what we're seeing for your Wednesday. Temperatures up here into the Dakotas, northern Minnesota, back into Montana here in Wyoming will struggle to reach 60 degrees, I think, as we head into your Wednesday time frame, and a lot of 80s here across the Ohio Valley and getting down to the south, a lot of 90s and maybe a couple 100s sticking around as we head into your Wednesday before that cold front moves through. But as the cold front moves through, like I said, we'll have cooler temperatures taking over into late week into next weekend here. We got above normal temperatures here out ahead of that cold front across the Carolinas, the Tennessee Valley, and the southeast. But behind that cold front, some fall-like temperatures can be expected as we head into your Thursday, September 22nd, and largely as we get into next Friday as well, into probably even Saturday and Sunday of this next weekend, with some purple shaded colors showing up here. That is temperatures that could be 10, 15, perhaps up to 20 degrees below the norm for this time of year as we kind of move into next weekend. So definitely a potent cold front will be dropping south across these areas. You can see as that cold front continues to move off to the east as we head into next weekend, we will quickly get back into a return flow pattern with another ridge being reestablished across the central plains, getting back into the desert southwest, the Four Corners region as early as Friday. And this will start to move its way to the east yet again as we get towards late next weekend with another warm up all the way up into portions of Canada as well as we get in towards the very last weekend in September. So that will be something to watch as we get to that time frame. The Climate Prediction Center does agree with the September 22nd through the 28th time frame above normal temperatures, largely across probably about 95% of the United States here during that period with above normal temperatures. Much of the United States will either be at near normal to slightly below normal with precipitation with respect to that ridge taking over much of the United States. You're going to see a lot of sinking air. You don't have a lot of that rising air, so you have a lot of sunshine. You have a lot of warmer temperatures, and again, some more dry weather can be expected as we get get towards the last few days here in September. An exception could be South Central Florida. We might have to watch for some tropical activity with a tropical storm or hurricane potentially across those areas. So we'll continue to watch that towards the end of September. And if that does occur, we could have slightly above normal precipitation across places like Key West, Miami, getting all the way up toward Daytona Beach, and maybe Tampa Bay, Florida, as we get into that time frame. And speaking of the tropics, we do actually have a tropical storm Fiona, across the southern Atlantic Ocean. We're going to continue to watch this here as it moves to the west. And looking at Fiona on the satellite imagery here, looks like a pretty compact system, a pretty small system right now, but it's pretty organized tropical storm, and it's going to continue to press its way to the west and west-northwest over the next few days. And looking at the ensemble tracks to this, it really takes this over the greater Antilles and then maybe towards Florida, if not the western Atlantic, as we head into the next several days. So this will be something to watch and track as we head through the next several days into next week and next weekend. So we'll continue to watch this. The official forecast from the National Hurricane Center remains at tropical storm status with this system all the way through early next week as it gets toward the greater Antilles and toward the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and then up toward the eastern Bahamas. But it does look like we do have in the Windward Islands here, the northern Windward Islands, a tropical storm watch is in effect right now, and this is because of Tropical Storm Fiona that's going to be moving over those areas. Puerto Rico is also in play, so we'll continue to watch that as we get towards this weekend. And it looks like the intensity of this system is varying a little bit. A lot of the models have this as a strong tropical storm. However, some models have it as a Category 1 system and then an outlier all the way up at a Category 3. I think, if anything, a strong tropical storm, if not a Category 1 hurricane, does look very likely with this system as we head into next weekend, as it gets closer toward the Bahamas, places like Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, and maybe even getting in towards Florida. So we'll continue to watch that as we head into this upcoming week into next weekend. So let's track this with the ICON model as we head into this afternoon. We got that system developing across the southern Atlantic Ocean. That is Fiona. That'll continue to press its way westward into this weekend on your Saturday, September 17th, getting into the Windward Islands and then towards places like Puerto Rico as we get into Saturday. And then as we get into your Monday next week, the ICON model is actually showing probably a Category 1 hurricane across portions there of the Dominican Republic, getting over toward Haiti there potentially on your Monday with a 982 millibar low pressure there. And then it really strengthens us into the middle of next week with a 954 millibar low, which actually could strengthen this to a Cat 2 or Cat 3. So we'll continue to watch this. This does have an outside chance of becoming a major hurricane, which would be a Category 3 or higher. And then we got to watch another system coming off the coast of Africa there as we get in towards the middle of next week, which could be named as well. On this model showing a 999 millibar low, that could be named Gaston, so we'll continue to watch that into the middle of next week. Looking at the comparison, however, with the models, the GEM or the Canadian model is a little farther west towards portions of like Key West, southern Florida with the system, so that is something to watch. Looking at the GFS, it's a little farther to the east here, still a pretty formidable system, so we'll continue to watch that. And it looks like here, we'll continue to watch it, but it looks like it's going to kind of curl up towards the western Atlantic coast, but we can't discount places like Cuba, the Bahamas, or Florida. We definitely have to watch this across the southeastern United States. But looking at climatology for these systems, a lot of times in September, these move to the west across the Windward Islands, the Greater Antilles, and towards Bahamas, and then kind of curls up into the east here across the east coast or the western Atlantic over the open waters. So again, this could be pretty similar to that track, so we'll continue to watch that in the Atlantic over the next several days for you guys. The Eastern Pacific is equally as busy. We got an 80% chance of another tropical depression, tropical storm developing over the next 2 to 5 days here just off the coast of Mexico to the west. And we also have a 60% chance of another tropical depression or tropical storm here developing just along the coast there of southern Mexico as we get in towards the next 2 to 5 days as well. And that could curl up there towards Cabo San Lucas and potentially even places like the southern Baja of California into next week as well. The next named system, however, will be Lester, so we'll continue to watch that across the Eastern Pacific. Some pretty disorganized convection and thunderstorm activity right now, but as we get in towards next week's time frame, we will be talking about a developing system across this area. As we get to this afternoon, not much to look at here, kind of an open wave trying to organize, but as we get into this weekend, maybe a tropical depression here developing right along or just to the south of the Mexico coast there. We'll have to watch across these areas this weekend. And then as we get in towards the early portion of next week, this system could develop into a tropical storm, if not a Category 1 hurricane, which would be named Lester, as we get to the 995 millibar low on the Icon model as we get into Monday. Getting very close here towards the Baja of California, taking a similar track to Hurricane K, so that would be something interesting to look at. And looking at the European forecast model, a lot weaker, probably more of a tropical depression with this and kind of moving more over land on your Monday. And then looking at GFS, pretty strong system here, probably a Category 1 hurricane with a 993 millibar low, a little farther south across the open waters of the Eastern Pacific. And equally, the Canadian forecast model, or the GEM, is actually showing similarly a 992 millibar low with, again, another Category 1 hurricane. So it does look like it's going to develop to a stronger tropical storm or hurricane, which would be named Lester. So we'll continue to watch that. Looking at climatology across this area, again, it's taking a similar track pretty much from the coast there of the southern coast of Mexico northwestward towards the Baja of California, and then out across the Eastern Pacific Ocean with time. So that's kind of taking a similar track as well across the Eastern Pacific according to climatology. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely appreciate you guys watching me every single morning. Again, remember to like the video down below by giving it a thumbs up. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. And guys, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for subscribing, all the new subscribers out there. Thank you guys for helping to grow this channel. Definitely much appreciated. Have a great Thursday, everybody, and I'll see you all in the next video.